Steph Curry, as we know, is one of the greatest players of all time. He's changed the game of basketball and is universally recognized as the greatest shooter of all time. Yet, many NBA fans still find ways to hate on Steph Curry's greatness, whether claiming he's overrated, he can only shoot, he needs KD, he can't win without help, etc., etc. We know those are all the stories. So many of these arguments being used to discredit the validity of his career is asinine at this point. My last disrespect video has been received very well amongst the community, and I wanted to make this a series since people reacted very positively to the last one about Kobe Bryant. I'm turning this into a regular video topic for Hoop Insight, so without further ado, let's break down the disrespect of Steph Curry right now here on Hoop Insight. Steph Curry, in my opinion, is the second greatest point guard of all time. Now that might be a stretch for some people, but I think he should universally be considered top 5 without a doubt. At the very least, this is a player whose game was so impactful and revolutionizing. His abilities on the court changed the entire landscape of basketball. Just let that sink in for a moment. How can someone like that be considered overrated? Curry, as every other player, has had his bad moments, but those moments alone cannot define an entire player's career, as some try to do in Steph Curry's case. So let's look at some of the biggest reasons for certain fans calling him overrated or just flat out disrespecting what Steph Curry has done. Disrespect number 1, he can't carry a team. Now this reason is so wrong and so hypocritical, it bothers me when this is the point of emphasis against Steph Curry's career. For anyone who's been watching basketball since before 2015, we know what Steph originally did with the older Warrior squads before all the fame and all the glory came about. Let's first look at the 2012-2013 NBA season. The Warriors finished with a record of 47-35 and made it to the second round of the playoffs, losing to the Spurs in 6 games. Let's look at what Steph Curry had around him this season. David Lee, Harrison Barnes, Jarrett Jack, Andrew Bogut, Carl Landry, Festus Ezeli, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Now mind you, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green were not the players yet that we know today. Let's take a look at their per game averages for this season in 2012-2013. Klay Thompson per game: 16 points per game, 2.2 assists per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 42 field goal percentage, 1 steal per game, 43-point field goal percentage, and 35 minutes per game. Draymond Green per game: 2.9 points per game, 0.7 assists per game, 3.3 rebounds per game, on 33 field goal percentage, 0.5 steals per game, and 23-point field goal percentage on 13 minutes per game. And Steph Curry this year, he averaged 23 points per game, 7 assists per game, 45 field goal percentage, 45 3-point field goal percentage, 1.6 steals per game on 38.2 minutes per game. Klay Thompson was a solid role player at this time, and Draymond Green was still basically non-existent. And then Steph Curry was already at all-star level this year. He did have David Lee, who was an all-star this season, but that was the only season he was ever an all-star in Golden State. Steph Curry was able to lead this team, which was not fully developed yet, to the Western Conference semifinals and take the Spurs to 6 games. And we all know the Spurs went on to the finals that year. The very next season in 2013-2014, the Warriors went 51-31 and were a 6th seed in the West and lost in 7 games in the first round to the 3rd-seeded Clippers. Curry once again led the way before Klay and Draymond ever developed into what they are today. Then, as we know, in 2014-2015, Steph Curry wins the MVP and leads the Warriors to their first NBA championship in over 40 years. Even though Curry did not win Finals MVP, which he really should have, but I'll get into that shortly, he still was the driving force all season for the Warriors' 67-15 record. From 2015 to now is what sticks in most people's heads. They forget that Steph Curry has been in the NBA for 10 years now, and that he has been playing at an all-star level since 2012 and worked his way to being a 2-time MVP. So this entire notion of Curry being unable to carry a team is just straight nonsense, and the entire argument of being able to carry a team in general should not hold as much weight as it does. Does anyone discredit Magic Johnson's career for winning 5 chips with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar by his side? Or having one of the greatest teams ever? Magic literally always had help from the moment he entered the NBA, but no one has ever heard saying Magic couldn't carry a team. So how come this illogical argument is being thrown at Curry? It's hypocritical if you ask me. Disrespect number 2. He has never won a Finals MVP. This might be the biggest blemish on Steph Curry's career. Him having 3 rings but not one Finals MVP to show for it. But we need to look closer into why he does not have a Finals MVP. So in 2015, we know that Andre Iguodala was given the Finals MVP award mainly due to his contributions in slowing down LeBron James. LeBron was so great and so dominant in this series, the award was given to the player that did the best job defending him. Even though that player only averaged 16 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 4 assists per game, compared to Steph Curry, who averaged 26 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game. Just based off the numbers alone, Steph Curry did not play bad this series, or he did not get locked up by Delhi. Steph had one bad game this series, which was game 2, when he shot a horrendous 5 for 23 from the field. Other than that, he proceeded to play great and dropped 37 on 7 threes made in a crucial game 5. Andre Iguodala was balling out this entire series, don't get me wrong now, but the numbers don't lie. Andre Iguodala was awarded the MVP award for his defense on LeBron James, but this series LeBron averaged 36 points per game, 13 rebounds per game, and 9 assists per game. So I guess Iggy held him from averaging 40 per game in this series. I guess that's worth the Finals MVP award, maybe. Then in 2016, the Warriors obviously blew a 3-1 lead, but you can't blame the entire thing on Steph Curry, as some people do. The Warriors underperformed greatly, and Steve Kerr never made the correct adjustments until it was too late by allowing Harrison Barnes to continue to have one of the worst final series in NBA history instead of just benching him when he could. Andrew Bogut, their best rim protector, also got hurt early in the series, and Draymond was suspended for Game 5, which could have been the closeout game had he played. You could call these excuses or facts, but either way you look at it, not all the blame can be placed on Curry. We recognize the greatness that LeBron and Kyrie came with in that series and what had to happen in order for the comeback to occur. Now, aside from this series, we all know KD joined the Warriors and the rest is history. KD was clearly the best player on that team. He was arguably the best player in the world at one point, so no way Steph was winning the MVP award with him on the same team. But Steph gets hate for this despite him winning a ring before KD ever even joined the Warriors. And he gets the same hate as Kobe does by uneducated basketball fans who claim he was carried by KD. Let's look at his final averages while KD was there. Steph Curry finals per game from 2017 to 2019. 2017 finals, 27 points per game, 8.2 rebounds per game, 9.4 assists per game. 18 finals, 27.5 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, 6.8 assists per game. 2019 finals, 30.5 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game. Steph Curry averages 26 points per game in his finals career, and yet people still have the audacity to say he was carried. Steph is actually the only player in NBA history to have 3 finals where he averaged at least 26 points or more and not have a Finals MVP. Just let that sink in for a moment. Does him not having a Finals MVP hurt his legacy? Yes. Is it the determining factor on where he ranks all time or if he is overrated? Absolutely not. At this point, it's safe to say Curry will never win a Finals MVP. But he's still almost universally recognized as a top 20 player of all time at this point, and he could still work his way up the list depending what else he can accomplish before his career is up. Disrespect number 3. He's overrated because he is only a shooter.
Boy, if you don't get...
Now, this is the absolute dumbest and most idiotic reason I hear for people who call Steph Curry overrated. If you truly believe that Steph is only a shooter, then you clearly do not know basketball and the impact that Steph Curry has. Any knowledgeable fan knows that Steph Curry can score from literally anywhere on the court at any given time, whether it's attacking his defender, finishing at the basket, or hitting step-back threes. It doesn't matter where he is, he can get his buckets in any way. Steph's greatest weapon is his shooting ability. But there has been no other shooter in NBA history that has to be picked up as soon as he crosses half court. Teams have to game plan against him by defenders going out to half court. The spacing alone that Curry creates just off his presence is so impactful for his teammates in their offense. The only person that is as good as Curry off the ball is his own teammate Klay Thompson. Without Steph Curry, the Warriors' offense does not work the same. Unless KD was on the floor, but that's because it's KD. That's a different story. But assuming there is no KD, Steph Curry is the engine to their machine. All of this just makes you a shooter? No, that's ludicrous. Just a shooter are players like Kyle Korver, JJ Redick, Joe Harris, etc. Now, those are still good players, but being just a shooter does not make you a two-time MVP and the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. So it's straight blasphemy for someone to ever utter the statement, Steph Curry is just a shooter. So these have been the 3 disrespectful arguments that people use to try and dictate Steph Curry's career and downplay what he has accomplished in the NBA. I was able to shed some context on these ridiculous claims, and hopefully if you were one of those fans disrespecting Curry, maybe now you can see a little clearer what he has done for the game and how great he's actually been in such a short period of time. I will be making this a regular series for Hoop Insight here on the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content. Also, feel free to follow us on our IG at hoop_network_ for more awesome basketball content. Leave a comment down below on which NBA legend you feel has been disrespected, and I'll make a video on them next. Thank you all so much for all the love. I can't wait to bring out so much more of these videos. It's your boy Jared from Hoop Network signing off, and peace.